Hey guys, it's Anne Marie. How's everybody doing? I'm just chilling here with my ancestors. Burning some sage here. Just want to kind of clear the energy a little bit here. I'd like to pull some cards for you to get some messages of clarity for those of you who would like it. What do we want to start with, Spirit? Okay. I've been called to keep doing the shamanic healing oracle today, so that's what we're doing. On to the west, the north, the east, the south. Fire, air, water, earth, spirit. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother God. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Spirit. I am divine. I'm divine protected. No weapon against me ever shall prosper. Who do you need to forgive, or who wants you to forgive them? Okay, that's where we're at. Okay. And what is this forgiveness for? Number 23, forgiveness. Ha! 5, psychic development. I need more than this. I actually don't need cards. You are somebody who has been developing your abilities and your gifts. Give me a second. I'm getting it down. Pull them. Oh. Stick with me here. This is, well, for some it's not deep at all, but this past year or two, you have really tapped into some amazing gifts and abilities that you didn't even know were possible or possible for you. Some of these gifts and abilities, some of these psychic abilities or clairvoyances, different clairs, you haven't shared with a lot of people yet because you're kind of afraid. And the reason why you may be afraid, take what resonates, leave the rest, okay? You can take pieces of it, is that one of them is that you have the knowing, that you just know things, and you feel guilty about it sometimes. There's a piece in here about forgiving, and but this is another message. It's time for you to kind of forgive yourself for not knowing those things in the past. You're someone who may have endured a lot of trauma, have had a lot of narcissists in your life and weren't aware of it in early years or whatever. But the more through your psychic development, through you harnessing on your gifts more, whether you're outwardly about them or not, you have I'm sensing some type of guilt or shame. Other people have tried to shame you or guilt you into not using your gifts or abilities, or they've kind of denounced it and kind of like called you crazy or said you know what you were talking about, and then the things came true, and then you may feel guilty because part of you may have thought that you manifested that to happen. A lot of people tend to go through that when they're really working on their gifts. They think they manifest these things because what we do speak is powerful, but this is like something different. Like when you have the gifts, these clairs, and the knowing of certain things, and you're just trying to help people or warn people or, share your insights. And then when it happens, then the tables get turned on you and you're the bad person, right? I think a lot of us experience that who are walking this path. You need to release that. I don't like saying the word need, but Spirit said you need to release it. Your kind heart, soul, and spirit comes from an honest place of giving and nurturing and compassion and love. And so when you've given these messages or when you've tried to help people using these gifts, whether you were a parent with it or not, and whether you told people you had the gifts or not is irrelevant at this point. The things happened. It was almost like you felt some guilt about it, like you made it happen. And there's where the forgiveness comes in. There was something, a few things that may have been tragic that you may or not be aware these things happen. But if you're having some guilt, you obviously do. Forgiving yourself. What's the shadow and light of this, Spirit? Spirit said you are a divine, intimate being. You've already carried the weight of the world on the shoulders. Do not carry other people's weight anymore. Don't allow other people to shame you or guilt you into denouncing who you are. You've worked too hard and come too far for these amazing abilities that you have, or whatever these talents or these gifts that you have. Don't go back into a shell. Don't hide yourself from the world. The world needs to see you and your gifts. I just feel really like you're loved. You're truly loved. Whether you feel all alone, you're loved. Number 9, empathy, vulnerability. You may have been you're, like I said, as I just said, you're a very empathetic person, which it sometimes has created a vulnerability into you, because there was a part of you that always thought other people were kind of like that in a way. And through your growth and your psychic development and healing, you're recognizing that not everybody's like you. And you know why? Because you've done the work and you're very special. Does that mean you're better than anybody? No, I truly don't believe in even spirit. No one's better than anybody. It's just everyone's on different timelines. Everyone's on different levels of their journey. Some people are on a healing journey. Some people aren't on a healing journey. And what happens is that because you've done the work and the growth and you're coming into your psychic abilities, it's shining light on a lot of things that have been in the dark, not just in your life, but in other people's lives, and they're offended by your light. And so in turn, you may have a little bit of guilt and shame for that, and then want to hide those gifts. Spirit wouldn't have given them to you and shown you all those things for you to hide them. And it's a matter of knowing who and when you can be vulnerable with. You should never hide your gifts. However, there's this piece of that, the people you have shown them to, then maybe shame you for that. And then you get back in this cycle of like hiding yourself away from the world again. And Spirit doesn't want that. Spirit just said, the discernment you use when you talk to other people. I don't know why I just started talking like that. That's just with the discernment you've used, with the message you've given to people. Use the same discernment with the vulnerability and empathy that you give to people. You give empathy to all these people, and you're vulnerable with every single person when you need to use your discernment and who you're vulnerable with, who you share things with. Some people, this was a really hard piece for me, where not everybody's open to receive the messages. Not just messages, but I have the knowing. And so when I see people talk and I see the way people move, and I know kind of the outcome, or I know that they're lying to me, or I know they're fucking playing in my face to a certain extent, I have to look at, do I want to exchange this energy with them by calling every single person, place, or thing out? Is it worth my energy? What are my benefit? Am I doing it because I want to be right and my ego, or am I doing it to help somebody? And oftentimes, regardless of why you've done it, first of all, look at that, but you've done it from an empathetic place and compassionate place, and it wasn't well received. And the whole point I was trying to get to is that not everybody's open to receive the messages. So don't force it on them. And those are the people that have harmed you and that have wanted to shame your gifts, because they weren't in a place that they could be open with themselves. They weren't open to receive the information you were going to give them, because it probably shattered a lot of illusions in their life and a lot of delusions in their life, and they weren't ready for it. Just think of all the times that you may have not been ready for messages to be given to you at different parts of your journey, that they kind of came later down the line when you did a little bit more healing, or you're a little bit stronger emotionally or spiritually. Is this making sense? Because it's just coming really, really fast, and we're almost out of time, so I start to rush. I don't want to rush this message, because it's really important for you to understand that there's nothing innately wrong with you. Your light terrifies people. You're really strong with your gifts. But that's the way it's supposed to be. So be mindful of the people you share them with, because not everybody deserves your beautiful light. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care who they are to you. It defeats the purpose when we share messages with people, especially if we use our intuition and we already know the outcome of it, if they're going to receive it or not. So if they're not going to receive it, then why give it to them? Meaning, not that you lie to people, like straight out if they ask you a question. But sometimes we provide people the gun or the bullets to shoot their own blessings, in a sense, because they'll say, oh, no, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Like when I share people the light that they have, and I know they're not going to believe it, I don't even share it with them, because then they're shooting themselves in the foot. We're out of time. I hate this. Shooting themselves in the foot saying that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're already counting out their manifestations or what could possibly be. I hope this